Hey, it was really good to see you yesterday online. I'm so glad we had a chance to connect. Really good to see you. So, let me just tell you what happened. I actively traded today for about 10 minutes, and I'm all finished. We've had some pretty big news today on U.S. employment. Labor costs are up, unemployment's down. So, a strong kind of labor showing in terms of workers making more money is not necessarily great for um, corporate profits, I guess you could say. So I believe that's why the market put in this giant red bar here on the 15-minute chart when the news came in. Um, when I saw that headed down, I'm like, well, how can I get involved with that? Um, I thought about kind of getting short here on this double top against the 1 minute EMA, which is also the I don't know 34 on the 15 second. But I kind of held out because it was still pretty early in the. It's only 10 minutes after the news. Things are pretty wild. I did see it. I did kind of mark this level right here though of where these little bounces were happening, and thought if it got back to that point, it might be a good place to short. I did short like right here at this pivot, right about here, and I did take it down, but then it kind of bounced around a little bit, and I got out for a small profit, and then did the same thing here. Um, Took it down, and it was going down pretty good, but then it kind of bounced hard and got out for a small profit. So those are little scalps that didn't really amount to much. Um, and then at that point, I kind of shifted my focus back to the 15-minute chart, and I saw that on this 15-minute chart, we're putting in a spinning top. Okay, kind of move this out of the way so you get a little bit better. Putting in a spinning top here at the bottom of this red candle. And to me, a spinning top means that it could be a reversal, right? Because there's equal pressure below as there is above. So that's an equalization type situation, which can often mean, a pivot up. So I went ahead and did my standard fib level off this candle for a long, and just sat back and watched a little bit. I'll zoom in here on the 15 seconds so you can see what that looks like right here. As you can see, where I was where my short wasn't working out over here was actually a pretty strong bounce off the 50% level of this little push up, and that was sort of the foreshadowing of what was to come as far as the long goes, because uh, when that candle completed, that 15-minute candle completed here at 9 o'clock, we had the second higher low. This first one was kind of like the bodies here, like you can see this long wick, like sellers. I mean, like buyers. Yeah, sellers were being totally rejected, and buyers were like exhausting these sellers here with this big wick right here, and that's happening like right there at the, I would say the bottom end of this reversal area here. So these green shaded areas are like the reversal area, right? So that's a sign that yeah, things are headed up. We headed up to the highs of that candle up here, and we came back and back tested the reversal zone again at the 61.8 level with a nice strong bounce. And at that point, I'm like, okay, this looks pretty good. It's the second higher low, which formally establishes an uptrend. We've got two bounces off this reversal area here, and we've got a huge sell-off here that shorts are going to have to cover that. So whether or not it goes lower, higher, whatever, shorts like to cover after a little while. They like to take their profits. So I did go ahead, and the way I measure this, by the way, like the lot sizing is very important to my trading because it manages my risk and equalizes my risk. So in this particular one, I always subtract this jade line, the 78.6. I always subtract this 2.236 from the set 0.786. So the difference between these two was looks like 20, about 21 points. So I go to this chart here and I check the 20-point level, 21-point level, and it gives me 10 minis. So that's what I trade. I trade 10 minis on this. So I went ahead and put 10 minis on right here, looking for a push up to this target up here, this 1.618 target, and it didn't take too long for it to get started. Once it did get started, look at the volume that came in on this. Massive volume coming in, coming right up to the target. And as far as like when I got out, it did hit target exactly, but of course I saw this red bar here and I'm like, well, I'm not going to play around. I'm close enough to target. That's close enough for me. Whether or not it hits it doesn't really matter at this point. I made a good profit. So I got out here at this red bar, and you know, I had a pretty good day because of that. Like the first two little scalps plus that trade had me making $750 per account, or $7,500 all told. So not a bad day. Kind of got a little overeager, I'd say, with these scalps. I mean, they were okay, but nothing really. They weren't really my plan, right? So when I went back to basics and said, okay, well, let me just calm down a little bit here. Let me trade my plan. Let me. I also had this one here that kind of reminded me of this whole thing because right when I got online this morning, this is what I was looking at. I was looking at this huge, for well, comparatively speaking, it was huge, huge push up that happened also after a big push down, and then that spinning top, right? That spinning top reversal candle. So I already had a small model of that I'd just seen like an hour earlier, and so when this one happened, this huge push down and this spinning top, I'm like, okay, all right, well, let me see if that's going to work. We did get that nice pullback into that. That nice pullback into that buy zone, right? And then boom, you know, straight up to target. So that's the day. Day's over. 10 minutes worth of trading, and I'm pretty much done for the day. Hope you have a good weekend. Or yeah, hope you have a good weekend. And again, it was great to see you today. Take care.